And kind of the next part of the dish is our soy marinated mushrooms.
Okay.
And that's what all of these mushrooms that we're cleaning up are going to go towards.
Nice.
So because my royal trumpets are the biggest and probably take the longest to cook, I'm basically just going to cut them in half. And then what I like to do is kind of quarter or cut them into sixes. I like to leave them long. This has a very meaty texture.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and add these here. It could splatter a little bit.
Okay.
When you're sauteing mushrooms, I want that oil hot, just to where it smokes a little bit. And so I'm just going to go ahead and slice these guys up real quick.
So you're going to cook them first and then marinate them?
Well, we're actually going to do like a pan marination.
Okay.
So once we have them sauteed, we're going to go ahead and add GGS, garlic, scallions, ginger.
GGS.
Yes.
All right.
Which is kind of the backbone of a lot of Asian-inspired cuisines.
It's like the holy trinity of
That's right.
Asian
That's
cuisine.
Right. So I'm just going to add these guys in. So as you can see, our mushrooms are starting to caramelize a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and pass over some oyster mushrooms. And it's the same thing. You're just going to kind of break these up a little bit.
These are beautiful.
Yeah. These are from a local farm, Primordia Mushroom Farm, which is really nice. Pennsylvania actually has they are one of the top producers of mushrooms in the country, which is kind of neat. I'll go ahead and take those maitakes, and if I could get the shiitake mushrooms also.
Sure. And these just break up, you said? Or
Yep. So kind of the same way as
get
you
this-
did the maitakes, they just split right apart. So, and you can actually peel them straight down like this, and then you get the stem right from the top,
Okay,
which is really nice. All right. So I also added my shiitake mushrooms here, and you can see that they're sauteing very nicely. I'm going to go ahead and add some of my maitake mushrooms to it, and I can just kind of keep taking my stems, adding them in here.
Now this is a dish that's featured on the menu of Mr. Lee's Noodle House, which is located right here in the Easton Public Market. Tell me about this spot. We usually talk about Leek, your other restaurant, when you're on the show.
So, it's located down in the front of the Easton Public Market. And basically what we've done is we're taking a Japanese-inspired dish as ramen, and it kind of has the same bones as Leek. We do as much farm to table as we can. We get in whole pigs, whole chickens.
Wow.
We make the broths every day, so everything's very fresh. One of the things about the Japanese culture is, it's so perfect, and they try to perfect everything. And so there are people that make ramen their entire life, and there's a really specific way that they do it.
Right.
So ours is it's based in tradition, but we do a little bit of a flair on different things and kind of bring what we know, especially with the region, and we bring that into the dishes. For example, we have a Dutch ramen that has pastrami and sauerkraut and
How can you not love
soy
that?
marinated kale with a mustard broth.
That's so great.
So that's kind of the way that we do it. So
It really is such a fun menu.
well, thank you. So as these are searing up, Holly, if you want to go ahead, I think you're good on the mushrooms. You want to go ahead and add a few of those right to the dish here. Perfect.
You're going to know how to make this dish in your sleep.
I'm great with mushrooms.
I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit more oil. You can see it's kind of dried up. And what's nice about this is we don't really have to use a ton of salt here. We do have the sodium from the soy sauce, but that's kind of how we're going to marinate all this stuff and bring out the flavors.
Okay.
Another key ingredient that we use is sherry vinegar. A lot of times rice vinegar is what you use, but I feel like the sherry vinegar goes really great with bringing that umami flavor of the mushrooms and the earthiness out, which is pretty cool.
I like that.
All right, so we're going to keep an eye on these, all of us, so we don't burn them.
I got it.
All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and add a little soy sauce to this, and I want to go slow. Whenever you're adding liquid to a saute pan, you want to be careful because you can get a flare up. Once that liquid hits the oil, the smoke point reaches. People love it, cameras love it, but it does add a lot of burnt or kind of bitter flavor to it. So we tend not to do it unless, of course, you're like flambeing alcohol or cooking alcohol off or something. So I'm just going to kind of keep adding my soy to this. Again, I have my little cherry vinegar here.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And then I'm going to add, this is sesame oil. I like to do just a touch of that. And then if you guys want to pass over our GGS
smell
there.
that soy already.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you very much. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this. Now, once we add this, we want to be very careful because all these little things can burn. So I'm going to just give this a toss, and we can just,
Oh my
just
God,
smell
there's so
already.
many
It's
smells
like-
coming into my nose right
Amazing.
now.
Okay, so now I'm just slicing up some scallions. That's a huge part of ramen, especially for a garnish, and even to kind of add to your broth. We can even toss a little bit into our mushrooms here.